Yeah, sit down and I'll get you. So I'm live right now and there's nobody in.
Cool.
Or I'm on it and it hasn't started yet.
I don't expect. Cool.
Are you live on your screen?
Mm-hmm. This is
oh. Yo, I'm never laughing.
Yo,
I'm never laughing again. Are you live on your screen? Oh. Yo, I'm never laughing.
Man, that is such a long delay, bro.
Are you live on your screen? Oh. Yo, I'm never laughing.
Man, that is such a long delay, bro.
Turn your volume all the way down. Just for chat.
How do I move that? And then there's two. Because, yeah, you can't hear me through here. You can only hear me through there, so. No, there's nobody on. That's a bummer. Here, you can see what this yellow looks like through. It's super subtle, so it just gives you the. Try really hard not to take it personally when nobody logs on, right? That's how it goes. Alright. There's our yellow button. Cool. Okay, we're gonna get rolling here. We're gonna start it on this other stencil.
We had 12 people in.
What's up, folks? We are going to be working on a controller, and I haven't done controllers in a while, and if you're joining, you may be a Goat Gun fan. I have a lot of Goat Gun stuff going on all around me, but today we're working on a controller. This is going to be HellDivers, so if you're a HellDivers fan or you play video games, hopefully you'll know who this is. So that's currently where we are. We're getting ready to put another sticker right on the back here. We're going to do the flag guy is going to go right over this. I'm going to get this laid down, and then we're going to take you over to the paint booth. I'm going to spray this. Once this is done, then we're going to start doing a gradient around the edge and get ready to distress it. So this is our face plate right here. We got some little yellow accents to go with the HellDivers logo. So we're going to get rolling on all that. So here we go. So basically this has been, in case you just have curiosity on how the paint process works, this is basically white all over, and I lay this stencil in. So all the stencils come from here. Then we spray the whole thing blue, and the blue, which you probably can't see in the video, has variant gradients in it. Once that's all done, I'll go back in and relay the stencil so that I can throw the yellow in right here. And so now we're going to lay our flag guy in right on top of that, and then we're going to spray through it in a dark gray. And then that'll set up in just a few minutes, enough I can work on the other parts in the meantime. So appreciate you being here. If you are checking it out and you have any questions, please feel free to ask. There is a little bit of a lag, so just hang tight on that.
We had 20 people for 5 seconds.
Cool. So, hello, Celia Cizo. I'm assuming that's a Cizo. And then Goob, I don't know. All right, what's up, Goob? So we're gonna do, we're gonna transition to the paint booth in a minute, but right now we're just laying this stencil down. Cool. So we're gonna mask this off, but there's our stencil with the flag holder that's gonna go over the Super Earth logo. So we're masking, we just want to mask enough so I can spray in there without getting paint on the exterior portions of the project. So we'll just mask off this stencil. So here we go, all right. Cool, so this is of course the PS5 controller, and we've got the text on the front, so we're basically going to go around the whole outer edge with a darker color. We're going to get started on spraying here in just a couple minutes. This live won't go too long, so if you join in, I appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. But here we go. We're going to spray this, and we're going to start working on these. So we're going to work our way over to the paint booth and get to spraying. Oh. All right. So we've got the dark gray right here, and that's going to go down first. So currently I have my booth fan turned off because it's very loud. There we go. So we're just going to get in here and we're going to hit this with a little gray. So get that base coat down. Nice and easy. We want to go smooth so we don't go too heavy, because you want to try to avoid making like thick lines where the stencils run. So we're going to work on, going to let that sit up for just a second, and then we're going to get prepped for the really deep blue that's going to go around the outer edges. And we're going to use a different brush for that. Actually, you'll probably use the same brush. Yeah, use the same one. So this is where we are right now. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it basically, you can just sort of see the pattern underneath it. So we're going to darken it just a little bit more. That's it. That's all we got to do. And that's going to allow for it to cover the other logo without being super thick, because it's a nice dark color. So we're going to let that sit up, and while that's sitting up, we're going to work on getting these done. And this piece I'm just going to basically be in, I'm going to darken up the edges and stuff. So I'm glove up for that. And this is because I'm going to be spraying right at my hands. I'm going to dump out the excess over here.
You got a donation?
I'm going to go ahead and turn this fan on. I apologize, it's a little loud. But it's going to allow my boy Will to breathe.
No. Thank you for the donation, Pixel.
Oh, what's up, Pixel? Thank you.
I don't know what currency that is, but 20 or something. Thank you, bro.
YouTube bucks or some crap. But
yeah, man.
Appreciate that very much. All right, so here we go. So again, we're using the same brush, and because of what I'm doing, I just need to spray out the excess like this. So I'm going to spray that out into the vent. And then we're going to throw in the darker blue. I don't know if you can see that dark blue. And we'll get the dark blue flowing. And then I'm going to show you here what we're going to do is I'm literally just going to be misting this edge because all I want to do is add in a little darkness to it. And it's always easier to add than it is to take away, so I just work my way in, throw it in on the corners. Imagine almost like vignetting. There you go. So you can see right here, it just vignettes the whole thing. Gives a little light speckling. While this is setting up and we're working on the rest, we're going to come back and we're going to be able to speckle it with black.
Bring it back a little bit so you get some of the light.
Oh, okay, cool. Can you see it okay in there? Bring it in there so you can see that. So you can really see how that vignetting will set it off, and it gets rid of the like brighter blue, and we'll darken it up, and it's going to give us a little bit more of a kind of an authentic feel, if you will. So then we're going to work on this piece. An important thing to do to think about is if you're doing this on your own, it's always important to make sure you mix enough paint, because if you don't and you run out, you sort of have to start all over with your vignette coloring, because it's going to be really hard to match it unless you're using a stagnant color. So again, I'm just working the edges here. I'm going to run them all the way up. Work them into my corners. Work them into my corners. There we go. Cool. So you can start seeing that. And now we're going to go in and we're going to get these spots. So I start the airbrush in the hole so that if it speckles through the hole, and then I can bring it back out. So here I'm going to bring ahead and go this. And I'm just adding enough air to darken it. So there we go. So I got all my edges darkened. I'm going to bring a little bit more in here because I want it darker. Yeah, there we go. Now we're going to work on the other part that we sprayed first, and we're going to pull that stencil off so that we can move on to the next stage. So you can see me from right here. I can go right here, Will. So this paint that I'm using is called Duracoat, and it dries really fast. So although it's still soft because it's not cured, it's dry enough for me to work with it. So I can, in this case, this stencil, I can peel it off enough to where I can do my dark edging, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean this a little bit before I move to the next level. Do you mind handing me with a razor blade, please, sir? So now we're just going to pull off some of these pieces. Trying, of course, not to scratch the crap out of it. So you can start, now you can see the silhouette starting to show up, which is what we want. And pull this last piece off, like so. So there we go. How much can you see that? Yeah, there you go. So there's our silhouette. You can get in the light. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start darkening my edges on this section, and that will give us both all the pieces that need to be darkened. So we're going to work on that now.
They do the height.
Yep. All right, here we go. So same concept, working it in a little at a time, because I just want these edges darkened without getting like super dark. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because the idea is it's just dirtying up the edges, and you're spraying it nice and quick, and doing so it helps make sure that you don't have any, like, all of a sudden you have like a super dark area. Plus I'm spraying it with gray with blue mixed in, where you could do this with black if you wanted to, but the black is much more stark. It's also a whole lot harder to control it because it's so much darker than what you're working on, whereas this actually does bring in some of the colors. Yeah, I think we're feeling it. Cool. So as you can see, it's a fairly dramatic difference from being the super bright blue to now it's starting to darken it up. And as we start to put the pieces together, all of our lines will match up and give us a nice dark edge. So now that this is laid down, we're going to go back and we're going to take the same gray and we're going to use that and we're going to speckle and splatter all of the parts. Cool? So that's our next step.
How do you do the height? That's what it is. How do you adjust the height?
Yeah, you can adjust the height. Just be gentle. We're going to bring you guys up a little bit so it's easier to see.
I was asking, what was it? You just pull it?
Yeah, you just got to pull it. All
Thanks,
right.
bros.
How many people we got on?
12. It was at 19
oh,
earlier.
That's cool. Well, man, I really appreciate you guys hanging tight. We're going to get ready. This part's fun. Do me a favor, if you would hand me the toothbrushes right there. So there's a couple of different ways that I splatter. Primer. We're going to add a tiny bit of acetone. But primarily I use a toothbrush and I flick it. Actually, I got one right here.
Oh.
Can you hand me the acetone on the left and the pliers right there?
Scalpel.
So we're just adding a tiny little bit of acetone here, and all that is to help it flow. I don't want to get too crazy. Just a tiny little bit, and it helps it flow. It helps it speckle, because if you don't thin your paint a little bit, you can absolutely 100% do it, but it will it'll be a lot thicker, and you'll get bigger clumps. So this makes it nice and liquidy, and then we're literally just going to go in my toothbrush. And that's it. Just getting the speckles in there to get a little bit of a dirty feel. Alright, I'm going to get this piece here. And we don't need a lot. And you can do it a couple different ways. So like I can come in and I could actually sling paint, and you get a very Can you see that in there? Yeah. So you can sling the paint, which again, if you thin it, it's going to sling a whole lot better. So if you want to do blood splatter, for example,
do on the wall.
Adding a little bit of thinner. Well, I don't want to do it on here, so adding a little bit of thinner goes a long way to giving you a much better splatter. So I'll demonstrate it on the wall here in a moment, but we're just getting the speckles on here. And there we go. So you can see that. I'm going to bring you in a little closer. So you can see the speckling and the dark edging on there. Cool? Okay.
It's weird. We went down to 4, and now we're up to 13.
There you go. So there you go. You see how you get the darkened edges with the splattering that will dry and then settle. And because it's thinned, it's going to allow it to settle a little thinner. It won't be quite as thick bulbous pieces. But if we use the thinness and we want to splatter it on the wall, when you go to sling it, you're going to get like a real splatter. Like that's a knife slice if you want to do blood splatter. So that's a really great way to do that. But that's pretty much all we're going to be doing on the controller for today, because now we got to let everything dry, and then we'll try to do lives once or twice a week. So if you're still in the group, I appreciate you hanging in there. I don't know if you can see my face or not, but I appreciate it. We're going to continue to put this together. Check it out on YouTube, because I'll have some shorts and bits and pieces of us doing it all as it's going to be assembled. This is the front plate that'll play off of the black pieces and parts and whatnot. So anyway, appreciate you guys sticking it out. Come back, like, subscribe, follow. We're kind of trying to do videos and shorts on a regular basis, so much appreciated. Deuces.